Hopefully you've had a chance to try problems 1 through 20 on page 2 in your workbook. In this video, I'm going to teach you a shortcut to determine if you correctly answered each question. So let's start with what we have. When we went through the previous videos, this is one of the problems we did. I was able to show you how 11 divided by 3, also read as 11/3, is equivalent or equal to the mixed number 3 2/3. So I'm going to show you how you can check your work. Let's pretend this is problem 1 on page 2. And you came up with the mixed number 3 2/3. And you're wondering, did I correctly rewrite it? Here's the trick. So if you have a piece of paper, and you can even write this in your notebook, this is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to start at the bottom, and you're going to go up towards the left, and I'm going to draw arrows here, and then you're going to go back towards the right. Okay, in this portion, I'd like you to write multiply. And this portion, I'd like you to write add. So I'm going to demonstrate this with 3 or 4 problems. I'm going to start by writing down 3 2/3. Again, just so you understand, let's pretend 11/3 or 11 divided by 3 was one of the problems from the homework. And you came up with 3 2/3 as the mixed number. And you're wondering, like, how do I know if that's right? Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to focus on the mixed number. And there's a shortcut. I love shortcuts. Here's how it works. You always start down below, and we're going to multiply the number down below with the mixed number on the left. This is the mixed number. We're always going to multiply these. So I'm literally going to take this and I'm going to draw that. I'm going to multiply these two numbers, and I'm going to keep that number in my head, but I'm going to write it on paper because I know some of you are visual learners like myself. So we're going to multiply. So 3 times 3 is 9. Got it. Then to that number, which is 9, I'm going to add the number that's on the top right here. So I'm going to add this number to it. So plus 2. 9 plus 2. Again, how did I get 11? 3 times 3, so 3 groups of 3 is 9. To that value of 9, I'm going to add 2, and I get 11. Now, how do I determine the number on the bottom? The number on the bottom is called the denominator. Remember, the number on top is the numerator, number on the bottom is the denominator. I determine this number always by that bottom number of the proper fraction in the mixed number. There we go. Boom. It's equal. Let's look at another one. So 16 over 13, and I came up with 3 3/13. So I'm going to write this down. 16 over 13, and I determined that I could rewrite that in an equivalent or equal form as a mixed number. If this was your homework problem and you came up with this, how do you know if you did it right? Okay, you always start at the bottom. Okay, here's my bottom, and I always move upwards towards the left to the whole number in the mixed number. So I'm going up this way always. Maybe I'll use that highlight. I'm going this way, and I'm multiplying every single time. Okay, 13 times 1. 13 times 1 is 13. And then to that value, I always add the top number in the proper fraction, so plus 3. 13 plus 3 is 16. And then I always write it on the bottom with the denominator or the bottom number of the proper fraction. Notice I did it right. Okay, so let's look right now at what you have in the workbook. So I'm just going to show your workbook to you right now, and let's do a tough one. Let's look right now and let's see, how did you do on, let's go with number 1 and number 2 just to demonstrate, did you do them correctly? Let me write those problems down so this can be a shorter video. So the last 2 that I'm going to do will be number 1 and number 2. Now I'm going to do number 1 correctly, and I'm going to show you how, if I did not correctly answer number 2, how I can actually find that out using this shortcut. So here we go. When we do this, as a reminder, we start on the bottom. We are going to multiply, going up to that whole number, and then to that value, we're going to add the top number. So I'm going to start right now. 1 times 4. Okay, 1 times 4 is 4. And then to that, I'm going to add the number on top, so plus 1. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Awesome. What's the number on the bottom, or the denominator? The denominator is always going to be the bottom number of the proper fraction. 5/4. I just proved to myself I did it right. Now I'm going to show you, and it is common to make mistakes. Remember, you're doing very difficult math. So let's say 7 over 5, 7/5. And I'm going to purposely write down the wrong answer to show you how I can demonstrate how this helps you. So I'm going to say I get an answer of 1 4/5. And I'm thinking to myself, did I do it right? I don't know. Okay, let's try. 5 times 1 is 5. And I'm always going to add to it the top number, which is 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. And to the bottom, I'm going to write it underneath the bottom number of the proper fraction. 9/5. 9 over 5 is not equal to 7 over 5. So what does that tell me? It tells me this was incorrectly done, and I just have to go back and do it again to get the correct answer. Now, when I go back, I end up getting a different answer. So this time, when I go back, I get 1 2/5. Let's check to see, did I do it right? 1 times 5 is 5. And to that, I add the top number of 2. So 5 plus 2 is 7. And I always write it underneath the denominator, or the bottom number of the proper fraction. Look at 7/5. And now I prove to myself, yes, 1 2/5 as a mixed number is equivalent to this improper fraction of 7/5.